The Renaissance, that period of remarkable cultural and artistic revival spanning from the 14th to the 17th century, was characterized by a profound exploration of humanism, science, and the arts. Amidst the splendor and intellectual fervor of this era, there existed a recurring and poignant motif in art and literature: the skull. Skulls, serving as a stark reminder of mortality, played a significant role in the aesthetics of the Renaissance, embodying the transient nature of life and the inevitability of death. At the heart of the use of skulls in Renaissance art lies the concept of memento mori, a Latin phrase meaning "remember you must die." This philosophical reflection on mortality was deeply rooted in both Christian theology and classical thought. The Renaissance, marked by a resurgence of interest in antiquity, saw a blending of these influences, leading to a heightened awareness of human frailty and the ephemeral nature of earthly existence. Artists and scholars of the period often grappled with the juxtaposition of human achievement and the unavoidable reality of death. The skull, therefore, became a powerful symbol within this dialogue. It served as a visual and intellectual prompt urging individuals to contemplate their own mortality and the moral and spiritual implications of their lives. One of the most prominent manifestations of the skull motif in Renaissance art is found in the genre known as vanitas. Vanitas paintings are a specific subset of still-life artwork that juxtapose symbols of wealth and success with symbols of death and decay, such as skulls, wilting flowers, and hourglasses. These compositions were intended to remind viewers of the fleeting nature of worldly pleasures and the certainty of death. The inclusion of skulls in vanitas paintings was not merely for shock value. Rather, it was a deliberate choice to convey a moral message. Artists like Peter Claes and Harman Steenwick excelled in creating intricate compositions that invited contemplation. For example, Claes's Vanitas Still Life with a Skull, 1628, features a skull alongside a timepiece, musical instruments and books, alluding to the temporary nature of knowledge, art and time itself. Beyond still life, the motif of the skull also found its way into portraiture, where it often served both personal and political purposes. The inclusion of a skull in a portrait could symbolize the sitter's piety, humility, or philosophical outlook. It acted as a visual testament to the individual's acknowledgement of their mortality and their preparation for the afterlife. A notable example is Hans Holbein the Younger's The Ambassadors, 1533, which features an anamorphic skull in the foreground. This distorted image, only recognizable from a specific angle, serves as a complex meditation on mortality. The painting's affluent subjects, surrounded by symbols of knowledge and power, are subtly reminded of their own mortality, thus balancing the depiction of earthly success with the inevitability of death. The fascination with mortality extended beyond visual art into the literary domain. The Renaissance witnessed the popularity of the Danse Macabre, or Dance of Death, a motif that personified death, leading people from all walks of life to their inevitable end. This allegory, often accompanied by images of skeletons and skulls, emphasized the universality of death, transcending social and economic boundaries. Authors and playwrights also incorporated the motif of the skull into their works. William Shakespeare's Hamlet provides one of the most famous examples. In Act 5, Scene 1, Hamlet's contemplation of Yorick's skull becomes a profound moment of reflection on life and death. The skull, once part of a living being, now serves as a powerful reminder of the fragility of human existence. Religious art of the Renaissance also made extensive use of skulls to convey theological messages. Churches and cathedrals often featured skulls in their iconography, reinforcing Christian teachings about the afterlife and the importance of living a virtuous life. The skulls were not only reminders of death, but also symbols of penitence and resurrection. In Catholic Europe, the use of skulls was particularly pronounced in the imagery of saints and martyrs. Saint Jerome, often depicted with a skull, serves as an exemplar of asceticism and contemplation of death. Such imagery was intended to inspire the faithful to lead lives of piety and reflection, constantly aware of the transient nature of earthly existence. The Renaissance was also a time of significant advancements in science and anatomy, which influenced the representation of skulls. Anatomical studies, driven by figures like Andreas Vesalius, brought a new understanding of the human body, including the skeletal system. Skulls, therefore, were not only symbols of mortality, but also objects of scientific curiosity and study. Artists like Leonardo da Vinci conducted detailed studies of the human skull, blending artistic and scientific inquiry. His anatomical drawings highlight the structure and function of the skull, merging aesthetic beauty with empirical observation. This duality reflects the Renaissance spirit of exploration and the search for knowledge, even in the contemplation of death. The use of skulls in Renaissance art and thought is a testament to the era's complex relationship with mortality. Far from being mere morbid fascination, the skulls served as profound symbols within a rich tapestry of philosophical, religious, and artistic discourse. They encapsulated the Renaissance's engagement with humanism, mortality, and the quest for meaning in life and death. The legacy of this motif continues to resonate in contemporary art and culture, reminding us of the enduring power of the Renaissance's reflections on mortality. Through the skull, we are invited to ponder our own existence, our achievements, and the inevitable journey towards our end, a contemplation as relevant today as it was centuries ago.